Happy New Day, CSA. We thank God for each and every one of us here present, and we thank God for our lives. Okay. Today's lesson sermon, the topic is anchoring our lives to the divine. Anchoring our lives to the divine. I think that is the best thing we can do as we live our lives, to immerse our lives to God's life. To me, there is nothing more worthwhile than this. Okay, most of the lesson sermon will be taken from Roy's writings. He says, through the cultivation of devotion and the awakening of our inborn capacities, we become inspired to extend our awareness and to do whatever is necessary to awaken from the mortal dream. Through devotion alone, it is possible to know the reality of God, but very few, even among sincere devotees, have single pointed devotion. Therefore, as a result of revelation and practice, techniques and procedures have evolved which are helpful to the seeker on the enlightenment path. I want to repeat. He says, as a result of revelation and practice, techniques and procedures have evolved which are helpful to the seeker on the enlightenment path. By doing certain things in the proper way, restricting influences can be weakened and dissolved, and soul awareness can be released to explore the full range of consciousness. He gives some useful suggestions. He says, by modeling one's life after the pattern of the saints, one can learn through experience how to live in accord with the laws of nature and how to open oneself to divine influences. No matter what our present condition in life may be, no matter what has happened to us in the past, no matter what our present level of understanding, if we will do certain things, we will surely progress in the direction of higher knowledge. Let us remember that nothing we do can cause enlightenment, because enlightenment is our natural condition when obstructions are removed. If enlightenment were the effect of any cause, it would fade when the momentum of cause influences cease. Therefore, whatever we do in the way of spiritual practice is for allowing the purpose of is for the purpose of allowing the inner nature to unfold and express. As we persevere in our dedicated practices, all of the soul's capacities emerge naturally, spontaneously, and in divine order. This is a very important point, that we do not cause enlightenment. It is our natural condition when obstructions are removed. Basic and important to every person on the enlightenment path is the living of a natural life, the cultivation of virtues, and inward yearning to know the truth about life. If we attend to these things and meditate deeply, satisfactory results must follow. In the Bhagavad Gita, we are given an idea of the virtues to be cultivated. What are these virtues? Courage, purity of mind, wise use of knowledge, concentration, self control, and right use of abilities, along with faithful study of scriptures and noble purpose. Non-violence, truth, freedom from anger, renunciation, tranquility, freedom from finding fault, compassion to all, freedom from envy, gentleness, quiet manner and faithfulness, vigor, forgiveness, persistence, selflessness, freedom from the desire to do harm to others, and freedom from excessive pride. These are the natural endowments of a person who is born with a divine nature. There are many, but what we should remember is that anything which is noble, pure, and perfect and leads us to God is what should be cultivated in our lives. Anything which is negative, we must eschew. It is a rare person who is born with all of these qualities fully actualized. By giving careful attention to our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, however, we can in time unfold these qualities in ourselves because they are natural to the soul. By cultivating virtues and living a moral life, all of the inner restrictions which inhibit soul expression are dissolved. A few of the more obvious effects of egoism are hatred, shame, fear, grief, condemnation, race prejudice, family pride, and a smug sense of self-righteousness. The removal of these alone would result in a person becoming psychologically healthy and an ideal representative of desirable qualities in society. The removal of destructive qualities and the accumulation of divine qualities opens the door to salvation. And he says, let us get involved in the arena of daily life and see how our new attitude, that is, when we cultivate the virtues and when we eschew the effects of egoism, hatred, shame, fear, grief, condemnation, race prejudice, family pride, and a smug sense of self righteousness. He says that with our new attitude, let us realize that we are sons of God living in heaven now. And where is heaven? In heaven, the world of reality, everything is perfect, harmonious, complete. For those on the spiritual path, heaven is not a future time place. It is here and now, the world of reality. Everything is perfect, harmonious, complete. There is no distortion, conflict, or lack. When we can see this, even while embodied, this perception will reflect in our lives and environment. Remember when Jesus fed the multitude? They said he asked, has anybody got food? And a young boy came up and he said, I've got what? I think 7 loaves and 2 fishes or thereabouts. And they said Jesus gave thanks and looked up to heaven, the realm of perfection. And through that, enough food was manifested to feed everybody present. So heaven is not a future time experience in an isolated place. It is a present time experience. He says that this is the first step to become anchored in the awareness of self completeness and fulfillment. Even if outer conditions at present seem to be just the opposite, we must begin somewhere if we are going to see a change in our lives. Security. One of the most basic desires of human beings is to be secure. We want a place to live, an adequate income to meet our needs. Consider this. As a soul, a ray of God, you already possess all you need because a ray of God is always provided for, regardless of the level upon which it expresses. You brought with you into this world the consciousness of supply. If you are experiencing lack, it is because of some subconscious blockage, an inner belief or conviction that you are not worthy of adequate money, shelter, good relationships, and so on, or that your karma prevents you from having these things. Remember when we're doing the morning devotion, there was somebody who requested, I see abundance everywhere. That is good because you must always remember that God is the source of your supply. And he says if you are experiencing lack, it is because of some subconscious blockage, an inner belief or conviction that you are not worthy of adequate money, shelter, good relationships, and so on, or that your karma prevents you from having these things. All limitation abides within the subconscious mind. All limitations abide within the subconscious mind. If the subconscious distortions can be released and the mental attitude adjusted, we can easily be led into a right place in life, and we will find situations working out wonderfully well without strain or undue effort on our part. Remember the original blessing. I'm a life giving spirit made in the image and likeness of God. Think like this: the infinite is my supply. It appears as money, shelter, transportation, all that I require for my perfect functioning in this world. The world is made up of layers of energy, which are a manifestation of pure consciousness. And this energy can form and be formed as the staff of the world. There is no increase or decrease of universal energy or consciousness. It is everywhere present and ever available. This is the way to think and the attitude to maintain. If we elect to look at the distortions of the world and accept the belief that we cannot have the things we need, we can live a life of limitation. It is our decision, and each of us is free to choose the kind of life we will have. Again, I want to stress on, he says, it is our decision, and each of us is free to choose the kind of life we will have. I always tell people that I met Reverend Sasu in 1979. That is, I think, 46 years ago. After I met him and I saw that this is what I wanted, that is what I've done for the past 46 years. It has not always been smooth, it has not always been good, but it has always been the right thing to do. So I want each and every one of us to take this decision. Decide what you want to do in life. If this is the path you want to follow, follow it with all your heart. If you want something else, why? What are you wasting time? Go and follow that something else. Okay. He says it is our decision, and each one of us is free to choose the kind of life we will have. Where do houses come from? Where does money come from? Where does food come from? Everything comes from the same source: consciousness. Pure consciousness is always forming as the things of the world because that is its nature. Therefore, you can have all the conveniences you require without taking advantage of anyone else, and without denying anyone else. Never again do you have to think in terms of lack or limitation, lack of money, lack of ability, lack of comfortable living conditions, lack of companionship. Never again do you have to think that reaching middle age or old age is a barrier to freedom. We all experience just what we inwardly believe we are worthy of experiencing. This is the law. We all experience just what we inwardly believe we are worthy of experiencing. This is the law. The truth about each of us is that we are perfect and self complete. Right now, we are perfect and self complete. No change in our basic nature is needed. The secret is to awaken from identification with a sense of illusion and begin to see life as it really is, instead of as it appears to be to us because of our conditionings and false notions. All of our efforts to meditate, study, practice self discipline, etc., are only for the purpose of clearing the mind so that the light of the soul can be clearly perceived. This is why it is helpful to associate with or think about saintly persons. It helps us to begin to see life as they see it. The only difference between a deluded person and an awakened person is the clarity of vision and the depth of understanding. One of the most important things to be considered concerning self realization is the proper attitude from the very beginning of the quest. We should assume that self realization is the most natural experience in the world. We should believe that we are worthy of the experience and that awakening will come quickly and easily. If we persist in believing that we have a long way to go, that we are too new on the path, that we have too much to overcome, we merely work against ourselves. I'm not suggesting that we should delude ourselves into thinking that we are fully self realized, even when inner and outer conditions contradict it. But I'm suggesting that we should inwardly strive to be aware of our real nature at all times. As we do this, the doors of perception will gradually be cleansed and we will increasingly experience insight. We become what we think about. If we think of ourselves as sons of God now, this begins to express. If we begin to think of ourselves as limited mortals, this is our expression. Then he goes on to say, discipline, discipline, discipline. To remain steady on the path, we must we must be ever watchful of our thoughts and feelings. Whenever we catch ourselves feeling dull and apathetic, whenever we find ourselves thinking in terms of limitation, restriction, lack, and so on, we must make an inner adjustment. And with the eye of intuition and by calm discernment, we must see through all outer appearances which are not in accord with fulfillment, harmony, and right action. Instead of accepting bad news, limitation, ill health, and poverty, sit down, meditate, and clear the mind. Then see the solution and bring it into expression. This is how we live by faith, seeing desirable things and conditions as though they are present realities. Remember creative imagination. If we have enough self respect, if we are serious about making the most of our time in this incarnation, we will remove all non essential things from our lives. We will follow the path of the master teachers and not pay any attention to those who try to give us unasked for advice and who do not have any proven degree of mastery in their own lives. In time, as we remain true to our inner convictions, as we find that we are living always in the perfect recognition of the fulfilled life, we find that we do not have to try to overcome problems or improve ourselves in our world. We find that we are automatically living the perfect life, that we are naturally being the person we were meant to be. We then live by grace, and the struggle is over. Many people, lost in their problem centered existence, cannot imagine what it would to be free and enlightened. They think of enlightened people as unrealistic dreamers, blind to the facts of life. Here and there, one awakens, two are in the field, and one is taken. It is almost as impossible to describe the total freedom to the average person as it would be to explain a three-dimensional world to someone who lived in a flat land of only two dimensions. A new dimension would be incomprehensible to him because it fits no existing recognizable pattern. Yet, the sages declare that there are other dimensions, including heaven, the realm of clear perception, the world of reality, which we are all capable of perceiving. Moving into the realization of this world, we find a complete transformation on all levels of our life and being. It just happens. It is important that we begin to live in the consciousness of heaven now, instead of thinking of fulfillment as a far off event. We must shift our mental gears and stop thinking ahead to a future time occasion for awakening or reward. Heaven is here and now. Heaven is here and now. It is available to anyone who will learn to see through the sense of illusion and accept it. This was the message Jesus brought when he said, "There are some standing here who will not taste of death until they see the kingdom come with power, and thou art very near to the kingdom." Now, there's an affirmation, so we'll sit in the meditative posture. I will read it once and then we'll go through it again. Today, I take my stand and rejoice in the clear recognition of heaven, fulfillment. All sense of darkness is banished, and I live in the realm of eternal light and joy. As a son of God, I remain steadily aware of my divine nature. God as me lights the world. Okay, let us sit down and repeat. Today I take my stand and rejoice in the clear recognition of heaven, fulfillment. All sense of darkness is banished, and I live in the realm of eternal light and joy. In the realm of eternal light and joy. As a son of God, I remain steadily aware of my divine nature. God as me lights the world. Again, today I take my stand and rejoice in the clear recognition of heaven, fulfillment. All sense of darkness is banished, and I live in the realm of eternal light and joy. And I live in the realm of eternal light and joy. As a son of God, I remain steadily aware of my divine nature. I remain steadily aware of my divine nature. God as me lights the world. For the last time, today I take my stand and rejoice in the clear recognition of heaven, fulfillment. All sense of darkness is banished, and I live in the realm of eternal light and joy. As a son of God, I remain steadily aware of my divine nature. Steadily aware of my divine nature. God as me lights the world. Thank you very much.